is Ashes, and it's a session where you can ask me live anything about outsourcing or virtual assistants. This is to really address any sort of questions that you have, whether as a business or an individual, about how outsourcing can really help scale your operations, what it is that we do. At Your Property VA, as the name would suggest, we are generally focused on property businesses. I'm a property developer myself. I've been in the property industry for quite a few years, and understand property quite in depth, and what needs to be done for businesses, and the problems and the hurdles that businesses experience to be able to grow. And hence that's why we started your property VA. So some of the questions, and feel free to comment as progressing. But what I'm going to do, there are a few people that have messaged me previously or frequently asked questions that I'll just go through the session. I hope everyone's doing well. I think we're into about at least week 3 of isolation. I have to say, if it wasn't for my team, I would have lost my bonkers by now. And so that's one of the things. I've been used to working from home for quite a while, and I'm a big advocate for working remotely. I believe in being sort of a citizen of the world, and that you should be able to, like most, if you have the ability to work from home. And if you've got the right setup and everything else, and as long as that's conducive. I have to say, having young children who are also homeschooling, often not so conducive, but that's okay. We're all in this together. So that's the question. One of the questions is, how, one, do you find the right people to work from home remotely? And this could be internationally or interstate or even just, even in your own city. But the fact of having a remote team, how do you go about finding the right people for that and keeping that culture and dynamics and productivity in that team? And I'll preface to say that working from home isn't for everyone. It's definitely for quite a few people. I know, for example, I'll give an example. My husband, um, he doesn't work from home, but his line of work does involve. He manages a fairly large team of engineers, and they really need to be able to be talking on a constant basis. So the whole switch from face to face to working from home has actually been a little bit of a challenge. Not saying that's been impossible, but it's just been a little bit of a challenge because they are so used to that face to face. It's an interesting conversation which I have with him, because I go, well, aren't you saving time and all the distractions and getting more done? And from his side, he's like, well, I'm actually finding it more difficult to communicate with people because I can't just sort of call out to someone. But on the flip side, what I actually find working remotely and working sort of in a home office environment is that it takes away the distractions. Um, I have been very used to working from home, where to me it is work. The moment I'm in my office, it's work. I'm not out there doing, you know, cleaning, laundry, whatever it might be that I might possibly be choosing to do. But it is your own discipline, and it is focus as well. And that's a little knock from a little person trying to get my attention. So this is the joys. So, but it does give me a huge sense of flexibility and balance. As a parent, as a wife, to be able to be there for my family, but at the same time be productive as well, because I'm not spending time I'm not spending time traveling. And that's the same for my team. A lot of most of my team, they are based overseas. I'm just waiting for someone to break into the office in about 2 seconds. Hello, how may I help you? Thank you very much. That's a receipt. It was in the mail. Thank you. I'm in the middle of something. Can I speak to you in a moment? And you get hugs as well. This doesn't often happen, but she is on school holidays. So back to how to find the right people to work that are good operators working remotely, and we do have quite a thorough interview process. It is really important that you ask the right questions of a person, their experience having worked from home, um, and also get a real sense of the type of person that they are, because there are certain people who, if you do a DISC profile, so we do a DISC profile, and we get a bit of an idea of whether they're a dominant personality, they're an influencer, they're what we call the compliance, and there's certain people that suit certain roles. And it's important, even if you're in a remote team, that you are able to certain sense cater to that particular personality. And we, in our particular team, we're communicating on a daily basis, and it's pretty fluid. We've got emails for formal things, but most of our day-to-day sort of conversations are through Skype. Through Skype Messenger. Our team meetings are through Skype video. And the great thing is that you can share screens as well, so it's very much the same functionality as Zoom, or I think it's Teams if you're on Microsoft. Um, but having that sort of immediate access to, hi, how are you? Immediate access to a team is really important, because we want to still keep that culture of connectedness. As much as everyone is working autonomously, uh, every morning we say good morning to everyone. We check in how everyone's doing, and ensure that I have time. And I say in the morning, if there's anything that you need, definitely reach out to me, and I'll make sure that I'm available for you. I make time for the team during the day, if I need to, just to be able to check in. However, it's not something that I or advise anyone to be on the messenger. Just like distractions from coworkers if you're at work, is to set those times when you're responding to people, because it's technology is fantastic that we have such easy access. Yet on the flip side, as you would know, very easily we can be distracted, and we're like little goldfish where we're like bing, 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 bing. So on that note, look at turning off notifications on your computer, whether you've got WhatsApp, Facebook, anything else. Turn off the distractions, because just as it is working from an office, you need to be able to restrict the distractions that are in your business. If you have little children, hard to remove those distractions because they keep coming back. I understand. Especially me. Especially little people like that. So a big part of having a strong cohesive team is definitely that idea of culture. And I often get the question around, how do we build culture? Okay. All right. Bye bye, sweetheart. How do we build that culture and team bonding when you have a remote team? And the I guess similar sort of concepts with what you would do for a face-to-face team is have that camaraderie. Ask those questions, check in, really check in, and different people. As I said, when you do get that DISC profile, different people require different levels of touch, and and you just need to know their particular personality. Some people are real. They're not particularly huge social butterflies. So they're happy to just check in with you every so often, and that's okay. But it's important for you as a leader, as the CEO of your business, to be able um, to to recognize those certain personalities, and whether there are certain personalities that need a little bit more of that encouragement, um, and support along the way. You don't want to necessarily micromanage, and this is part of the interview process as well. Really understanding whether a person requires a lot of micromanagement or not. And sometimes, I'll be honest, it's hard. It's hard um, to find that out until you work with someone, because they may interview really well. These profiles sort of show that they're a certain personality that would suit that particular role, but you just don't know until you try it out, or try them out and see if you're a right fit. So I come to the other point about fit. Is someone the right fit for your company culture and company culture and your personality? Because if you know what we do, say for example for our partners, is that we have an interview process that's with them. If we are placing dedicated champions with a partner, um, we have them basically almost choose the person that's right for them. And we've had circumstances that we have had two candidates really excellent, and it really did come down to a personality, and a personality fit with that particular partner, um, and which they found that the level of energy really gelled. So it is, if you're going to be working with someone long term and on a daily basis, it's really important that you do have a little bit of time to get to know them and to find out if they are the right match for you. I mean, it's almost like a marriage. As part of our onboarding with partners and champions, we have what we call our promises. So it's almost like that marriage and that bond where they say, I promise to. We touch a little bit more about productivity. So as a remote team, how do you manage all different tasks and responsibilities, and then ensure that projects are being
Bye bye.
okay, bye bye, sweetheart. Projects are being run on time, and again, that you're not spending all your time being a micromanager. Task managers, we use Asana, and a lot of people use Trello, Monday, probably Google Task, I think. Lots of different task management tools now, and I highly recommend, if you are working with anyone um, remotely, to have something in place, because there's nothing worse than having notebooks and post-it notes in all different places, and not knowing what sort of is next, and what your responsibilities are as the business owner as well, because you don't want it to keep everything. You want to be able to free your mind of as much as possible, and that's the whole idea of being able to outsource and delegate, is that you want to be able to focus your mind on the core priorities in your business. And right now, in Corona crisis, really your core priorities is about keeping business or bringing in new business. Um, our big theme at the moment is about evolving, adapting, and taking action, whether it's in our own business or in our partner's business. We're really mindful that we are there to be able to help them strategize and work through any particular challenges, and identify areas where we can provide support. um, to increase their cash flow and revenue as well. So that's the whole benefit of having a team that allows you to free up and be more productive as a visionary, as a CEO, and the business owner, to be able to bring in the bacon, because you're often the one that is doing the deals and the core functions, which is generating revenue. Um, so your team, and even if you have one team, they are your 2IC, and any particular task that you have for them, definitely make sure that that's scheduled somewhere, um, and that they check in with you to find out what it is that. Be clear on what that task is, and this is an evolving process. Particularly if you've never worked with anyone else in your business, or you haven't worked with someone remotely before, it is important to find the tools that work for you. And we've, in our internal team, we've found that having workflows, going back to the old whiteboard, I've lost my stylus for my iPad. I told my team the other day, and I can't draw like I used to. So I went back to the good old whiteboard and drew out our workflows for whether it's funnels or a new process, or whichever. Um, and that really helps your team see what you're thinking, um, and be able to mind map who's got responsibilities for what and what the next steps are. So I hope that's been helpful. Um, Starting off with a new form of working will always have its what's it called, the teething pains. Is that the right word? But it's important that you have someone that helps you with the onboarding process, and that process of identifying what are the first things that need to be delegated and outsourced. And we'll look at it as a project. What am I looking to achieve in the next 30, 60, 90 days, and the next 12 months, and then break it back from there and look at what those individual action items are. And that's where you start your new virtual champion on. Whether it's us, whether it's someone else, the whole idea is we want to be able to support businesses to really grow and thrive in the current climate and beyond this, because we can do it. We can. And it's just a matter of finding a new norm. We're really a purpose-centered sort of business. So it's, on one hand, we've got our business partners, our clients, who we want to see thrive, and then we want to be able to provide great work opportunities for our champions overseas as well. And that's a great marriage. It's great business from our perspective. So if you've got any other questions, today was really very much about team, bringing people together, how to be productive, and finding the right people. And if you've got, we'll address a whole lot of other questions in the coming series. So if you've got anything in particular that you want to find out, this is a great forum to be able to do that, because obviously it's live, and it can be, it doesn't necessarily need to be property related. We are talking about the core um, functions, and the core learnings can be applied to any sort of business. So feel free to ask anything in particular. Take care, everyone. Be safe. Stay sane. I've been meditating a lot. If you're not a big meditator, I highly recommend it if you're in a very stressful situation at the moment. And keep thriving. Support to all of you, and I'll see you next week. Take care. Bye bye.